welcome everybody to the Paintball Lounge, where I have the brand new coach of the new one of the brand new coaches of the New Orleans Hurricanes. Justin, welcome to the show, my friend.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the invite. Looking forward to the next house.
So, tell me, how long you been like in the paintball industry? Like, this was a big change.
I've been in paintball since 2002ish, 2003. On the tournament scene, we kind of, played around a little bit locally down
Mm-hmm.
here in South Carolina, and then we kind of combined two teams to make a Rocket Kids, and then played a World Cup just for shits and giggles, really just for fun, and wound up getting six out of I don't know how many teams there was back then, and for 10 man in the rookie division, and we said, well, maybe we have a opportunity here, and ever since I've been involved, Rocky Kids, Warped Army, played a little bit with RNG All Stars and X Ball when we were playing 7 man. Um, and then kind of been around the guys, my life, you know, kids, marriage, stuff like that took a different turn, and then that way, been kind of involved with the guys for the last 5 or 6 years. I think me and Matt actually coached them back in semi-pro at World Cup in 2019, I think it was. And then they picked up Bianca. We couldn't commit, can't commit for the whole season. We couldn't back then. And then they picked up Bianca, and then Bianca's been with them since. And then I've been along the ride with them most layout weekends there, just helping out where I can, filling pods, hanging out with the guys. Drew, Stu, Britt, obviously not with the team anymore, but those guys have been, around. I've been around those guys for 20 years almost.
Right. And so you've been more like, you've been more like into the scenes, like, like you said, filling out pods, but going, just hang out with them, like going to events and everything. And, but the change, like, how does it feel now? Like, how does it feel now being one of the coaches of the Hurricanes? Because it was knowing that, Mike Bianca went to Dynasty, no shame on that or anything, but
Oh,
we were like everybody was like, okay, so we lost Bianca. Who's going to coach the Hurricanes? And now we got two coaches. We got you and what's his name? Matt.
Matt
Thank
Rotard.
you. Yeah, thank you, Matt. And that's just crazy. Like, how does it feel now?
It feels great. It's an honor, to get the call from the guys. It was kind of an idea at first. Wasn't sure, what me and Matt's schedule were like. I'm going through, different work. My profession's the same, but kind of different levels of things going on. It was more of a call, feel us out. Me and Matt were kind of, I don't want to say a part deal, but the guys, know that me and him are almost best friends. Kind of have the same mindset, but also kind of, butt heads a little bit, which in a good way. So it was an honor to have the guys call us up and pretty much have everybody's full support. That's part of the team, and wanting us on board to be full time and actually being able to make it happen. Had to pull a couple of strings to make it happen, but glad to be here. Glad to be wearing the Hurricanes hat. I was wearing a Hurricanes hat anyways. Either way, uh, but now having the coaching or co-coaching hat on as well.
Right.
A little bit of responsibility, a little bit different ways to look at things. Than I have in the past 3 or 4 years. Being around Bianca and stuff like that.
Right.
Um, so it's exciting. It's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of it. Exciting to be working very closely with the guys. Hands on. Gets excited for this next tryout we got in a couple weeks, and then yeah. So we have a follow up tryout January 18th and 19th, I think.
Oh.
So we follow up on call back from the first tryout, and a couple guys coming in that couldn't make it to the first tryout that we possibly have some potential, and so we'll see what happens there. So it's good. We got the old blood, solid core group of guys that I'm excited to work, even closer with, and then possibly getting on some new blood as well, and getting our hands wrapped around them and trying to mold them into what we need.
So, are you going to be there? Like, are you going to be there to see who can be the next
Yeah,
player of the
yeah,
Hurricanes? Okay.
yeah. I was there Sunday, the last tryout.
Okay.
Stuff on Saturday, already planned before the tryouts were scheduled. Obviously, all this was kind of coaching stuff was already in a moving, wasn't really known, before all that stuff kind of came out for tryouts. But I plan on being out there at least one day either way, whether I was, coaching or not. But I will be out there on Saturday and Sunday for the tryouts. Coming about at Could be out there for both of them, if not one or the other. He may depend on his work schedule.
Right.
So
Hang on one second. Let me close that door. Sorry. That
no,
dog.
that's fine. That's
I
fine.
hate that dog. I forgot to close that door. Dog it. Sorry about that. I have a
Okay.
little yapper.
Oh look, I got a big yapper and two kids, only two kids here instead of the four, so it's kind of quiet right now. But that
Well,
may change in who knows in the next hour.
well, yeah, because it is New Year's, and because like a lot of stuff's going down. But now, speaking of New Year's, Happy New Year's, of course. uh,
Well, as well.
and now since now we got two. It's like everybody's doing two coaches. Like it's like a lot of co-coaching in 2025, and it's actually a big, kind of like a big deal, and it's actually interesting, very interesting. So, how do you felt like now being a co-coach? Like, is it a little bit more like a little bit more ease, or is it like
I, I love it. I mean, coming up in paintball, Rocky kids, South Louisiana kids,
mm,
not really paintball's not big down here, so we never really had a coach. So we're kind of like our own coaches. There's a couple of guys that took a bit more bigger step in the game plans and personnel stuff like that. But it was always kind of a group decision stuff like that we've had. Um, and Matt and I kind of took that role with the Rocky kids for the most part. With help again from the whole team, is kind of a collective. Um, so it's nice to co-coach, bounce things off of each other. He may see something that I don't see, and again, the team, we've made it very clear with the guys that it's not just a me and him thing; it's an us thing. And we're an open book. We want to know what y'all see. If you don't agree with something that we're saying, we want to know why. Let's figure it out. So I think I don't want to say more the merrier, but I think the coaching thing is a huge positive, especially when it's a couple of guys that are pretty close to each other. Kind of aligned for the most part, and that's where me and Matt, our relationship is. We'll be at each other's throats for 2 seconds, but then hugging each other the next 2 seconds, and
mm,
because we talked, I think that's a big thing. I mean, you look at damage with SK and um, Blue, and then obviously 93 got the two. Now a lot of people have the two coaches, and then I think it's a successful way to look at combining the two minds to make sure everybody's aligned.
yeah, I agree 100%. As like this, I actually like like you said, I actually like it. I like the new co-coaching thing because, you know, now you have like two different ideas
Yep.
because and it takes and it does and honestly to me I think it takes off a lot of pressure
Yeah.
because you know they may be one side like one play that one coach did not see but the other one did, and so it's
Right.
kind of like a eagle eye version of the whole situation. And you know, now since everybody's starting to do co-coaching, I think a lot of teams are probably going to do better. I'm not saying that a lot of the Hurricanes did poorly or anything because of coaching, man, no. but I just feel like it's gonna. I think there was a lot of times where there were blinds. Some teams were blindside because they missed a play. Like they missed this part of the play because there was not second eyes out there, and
Or,
a lot of people who are like now in the 40s, like Ryan Greenspan and all the guys who have been playing for since back in 2000, like they're getting to that stage where they can't do it at all. So
right,
having an extra set of eyes is actually an amazing thing, to be honest.
right. Yeah, and it takes some stuff, off the players as well because, like obviously we're gonna, rely on the guys to see what they see on the field because we can't see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's more of a, one less thing that the guys got to worry about, reporting back to us because me and him or Rosie, Rosie's our, kind of our scouting coach as well, and he'll be in the pits, letting us know what the other team does. So it's another thing that's, we'll have three eyes almost on every single play. And then, depends on what we come up with. We may, only have two eyes and the next person's worried about, playing personnel and stuff like that. But that's to be seen in the workout and practices in the coming months.
Right.
But I would agree more eyes, the merrier the guys can worry about, getting potted up, cleaned off, getting a breath of air, getting some water, and then wait for their name to be called and what the play is being called, and then that should be it. Obviously, a little bit of feedback when they get off the field, perfect. But we should hopefully have majority of that feedback before they even get off the field.
Right. And another thing is that not just that, if say someone's like benching for 1 point, then they can talk to that other coach to see what can they do while the guys are playing, scoring points, or they're probably messing up and everything. You can help the second set to get on the field while the other coach is like watching the game, and I think it would be more ready and more prepared to. And that's what, and honestly, to me, like what I said before, I like co-coaching now because I'm seeing it as a, not as a player wise, but just like this is actually will help out a lot.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. It's kind of and you can, like you were just saying, kind of a divide and conquer type thing. Somebody struggling, or we need to have a conversation with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
One of them can do it, and the other one can sit there and watch the point, or talk about personnel, or play call, or whatever it may be.
Right.
That's going to be a huge. I think it's a huge improvement. To any professional team, especially at our level.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of make sure, again, two minds, divide and conquer type thing. And then also, putting our minds together to, come up with what, the possible issues that we're seeing on the field and making a change. Maybe faster than others would.
Yes, I agree 100%. And so another thing I know a lot. I'm gonna say this angel question: what is that you and Matt are gonna bring to the Hurricanes to make it where that what they were doing so well in Las Vegas and they were starting to decline just a little bit. Um, but what exactly that you and Matt gonna bring to make the Hurricanes back to the top? I'm gonna say the top 10. I can't say the top 5 because we already saw all this craziness in 2025 where we're going to talk about like the whole moving and teams getting buyout and everything. But what exactly y'all going to bring on the table to make sure the Hurricanes stays in that top 10 team and not become renegade at the end of the season again or ever?
I think it's going to be a fire lit under their butts. There's going to be a little different mentality that me and him are going to bring. I mean, as Stu said in the the NXL posting, I'm a kind of a no nonsense guy. Um, I there's excuses for things, and then there's not. I mean, it's as simple as that. These guys that we have, the 8 guys that we have on the roster right now,
Mm-hmm.
can win a event. I mean, it's as simple as that. Um, we are going to make sure that plays are being called correctly, at least the ones that we feel are going to work right. We're going to be organized, and we're going to have a little chip on our shoulder. I can tell you that right now. It's not how those guys finished the last, 4 events. I mean, Vegas was great, and I've actually watched Vegas probably 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
uh, in the past 2-ish months. Not about a month. I'll say that about a month, and then I've watched all the events from the prior season, and then the events from the latter end of the events. When I was at Cup, so I didn't really need to rewatch that.
Hmm.
Um, but it's going to be a different mentality. You'll see a little chip on our shoulder, no nonsense guy, at least from me, and it may or may not be depending on field layouts and stuff like that, but a little bit more foot on the gas, aggression, but a forward aggression, kind of like you saw in Vegas. How they were successful the prior season. If you look at some of the points and matches that they were more successful in,
Mm-hmm.
they were up on their horses and going. And it seems like the layouts these days are they gone are the days of playing a spread five and you know maybe shooting one guy off the break and just hitting those 5 bunkers is not gonna usually not gonna cut it. I mean, maybe once or twice is gonna cut it, but it's gonna be more of a punch in the mouth type thing. I think is the way these layouts are going, and we got the personnel to do it, so there's no reason why we can't put our foot on the gas again and be more successful.
Right. Yeah, I agree 100% because I was actually watching Vegas and um in the beginning of the season watching Vegas and I was seeing the main cave um with my best friend and um I was literally screaming on the TV like Sean Payton with the Saints. I was turning red. Like yeah, it was crazy. And then when I watched the other like all the other events, I was like, what happened? Like what happened? And I like that you're not gonna bring any no nonsense on the table. You know, you mess up, you're gonna get punished. Kind of deal, and I like that. I think that's what the Hurricanes needs. Like they need a little bit more, um, bring a little bit more fire because we're Hurricanes. We're supposed to be thunder and lightning. We're supposed to bring the storm, not the storm
Yeah.
like kill us. And I agree.
It's funny you say that because it's going to be I got a mentality of I want the team that we're playing to adjust to what we're doing.
Right.
So I want to do some things maybe out of the box, unpredictable,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and go punch people in the mouth. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, there's not. I mean, it really. But minus, you know, sitting in, get the timeout box at Cup like Diesel and Ace that we're doing. But that little aggression, that's old school paintball right there. I mean,
Yeah.
it was fun to watch. Did it kill Diesel? Yeah, it did. They probably would have beat Fit, but it was fun to watch. They had a chip on the shoulder. I understand that in-state rivalry is something to speak of for them, but um, you know, you're just saying, in Vegas, you're on the phone with your buddy or in watching the webcast with your friend in the man cave, and I'm pretty sure me and Matt were on the phone majority of those, on the phone, speakerphone, watching the webcast together,
Mm-hmm.
screaming at each other, and then, what's going on, and then, we're getting, calls or texts from, the wives, they're at, at the field, at the event and stuff like that. So, um, that happens. I mean, that it's been like that for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Um, that we've watched every event that I could possibly watch. Be there to support them anywhere we can, and just happy to be in the spot that we are now, and just do a little change. I mean, we don't think much change is needed, but a little fire doesn't need to be lit on their butts. I feel like I got a little complacent.
Right.
especially after coming, they should have won Vegas. I mean, you should have, could have, would have. You look back at it, yeah, great. I mean, lose to the best team in the world in the last 20 years.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's something, that to me Vegas will always be the the great like and well I wouldn't say the greatest match of all time because there are a lot of paintball matches
but
that I think that were greatest, but it has to be my top three because you know like what people don't understand is that like you said before that Louisiana is hard to play paintball. It really is, and to see a underground like not underground a underdog team.
mm,
We don't have a lot of facilities, don't have that much room to practice, and we're broke. We're a broke team, and um, but getting to the finals like that, that's just like you know, it's like magic, and you're going
yeah,
against like the top, like you said, the top teams in 20
almost.
years.
When you dream of paintball and you're in, 15, 20 years ago when, we're just getting started and we're, rookie, novice,
Mm-hmm.
up through, you're dreaming of playing Dynasty on a Sunday in the finals, or an Ironman or an Aftershock, Dynasty, Ironman and Aftershock have recently, got back in the mix of things of having better teams, but Dynasty's always been top tier, top 3 or 4 team, forever.
Yeah.
That's what you dream of. No, they almost had it, but I feel, I think we might see them again in the finals. Hopefully, in these next, 11 months. Uh,
That that would be awesome to see
well,
the new coaches facing Mike Bianca's.
look, I mean, look, if we can get that, if we can get there, that'd be amazing. It's a one step at a time type thing. Though right now, our goal, like I said, we got the guys that we can win events. I mean, it's as simple as that. Just putting the right pieces in the right place is going to be the main thing, and making sure these guys are healthy. A lot of the guys weren't 100% or even 90% last year.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we'll keep them healthy and put the right guys in the right place and make the right play calls, and hopefully be in a few final appearances this year.
And as well as this, like hopefully that with the tryouts, like you said, that are coming up, the following up one, hopefully you'll get some young blood in the
Yeah.
mix to where that if the top players like C. Wright, Drew, Stu, Camp, who
Mm-hmm.
else? Nick, if
Yeah.
any of those guys gets injured or can't play, then these young bloods can actually fill in for them to where that no one will feel bad or anything like that because that's what
Right.
happened. That's what happened
Yeah.
the last season. It was just we they didn't have really had that many backup players.
No, it was. I
Oof.
mean, last season was a little rough. Injury wise, stuff like that, and we had some guys that couldn't make events.
Yeah.
Um, and that maybe that. And look, you can't control. Hopefully stay healthy. Work. Real life is sometimes comes in a way. Obviously this is no one's, at least none of ours. Very select few that paintball is their profession. But real life does come in. But like you said, it's a next guy up mentality. We're not going to put, again, these 8 guys. I feel that we can go win an event. With, do we want to pick up a few more? Yeah. Do we need to pick up a few more? No, not necessarily. But it's always good to fill out the roster a little bit more. Guys that we feel that will meet our expectations, also fit in with the guys as well. And you'd be the best player in the world and not fit in with us. We don't want you here. Um, so that's what we're looking at. And we eyeballs on a few guys. Me, Matt, Stu. Made a couple of phone calls to those guys that were from the first practice. Stu reached out to a couple other ones. And then we're waiting on this, January 18th practice stash. tryout. See what we decide on.
Right.
So we got our guy. We got a good idea, but we still want to see these other couple guys and see what we can do.
Yeah, and a lot of people on that Saturday of the first tryout, a lot of people showed up um that seem have really good potential, and some of them were not from, Louisiana, and it
Some
was
of the guys are from a ways away. I'll say that, and it's I don't want to say inspiring, but it's I mean look at Nick for instance. I mean Nick's from Germany. He flew in from Germany for the tryout 2 years ago, and I was actually at that tryout. And I was there Saturday, and then Sunday I was there. And I'll tell you a quick story about that, and we'll go back to the guys coming in.
yeah.
Uh, and we're sitting there Sunday, and I watch Saturday and Sunday morning. And I think we're in the third point Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk over to Stu, and Bianca was standing right there, and I'm like, why are we like unless he still wants to play, why are we even sending him back out here? Possibly get hurt or whatever. I was like, just tell him to come over here now and offer him the position like on the roster. And they're like, what? Really? You serious? I was like, what else is there to see? I mean, he's showing out. He's doing great. He's what we need. So they called him over and offered him the thing. And being from Germany, being able to fly in, his work, family, all that stuff, basically comes in for 2 weeks for the most part. For the layout weekends and then the practice. I mean, in an event, and then usually flies back depending on what's going on. But if we had a guy named South Carolina, a couple guys from South Carolina coming in, Alabama, Georgia. I think there was one from Tennessee, a couple guys from Texas. All over the place, which was great to see. Great to show up and see some. Good potential. Just not in our, it'd be great if they were local, if everybody was local. But again, Louisiana paintball is, it's not a Texas, a Florida, or a California. We basically got our little cubby hole here, and that's that's it. Which some of the talent that is local is we're looking at that as well. There's some good local talent as well that we trying to get our hands on and see what happens there.
Yeah, I agree 100% because I believe there was a couple of guys that I know of who were trying out for the Hurricanes, and one of them was Matt Hodges' kid, Justin, and Q, I think BB, and they were, those guys are like, if they get on the team, I'm gonna be stoked. I'm not gonna lie. I will be stoked because I've seen how they play and they deserve it. Because they put a hard work, especially Justin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
kid's like a wrecking crew. Like he's a wrecking ball.
Yep.
And but
A couple of those guys may or may not be invited back on January 18th.
yeah.
So that's the thing.
Well, I just hope that January 18th, y'all get more people coming in. Especially, I know that a lot of players have left a lot of teams because I think it was because of the fact that the change of 2025's paintball this season is going to be a lot different, especially since now teams are buying out other teams, and I don't know if that's leaving a sour taste because we're seeing a lot of people going from one team and they're dropping out, becoming a freelance, or they're just going to a different team because of this and because of that. And to me, it's like, what the hell? Like, what's going on here?
And paintball is I want to say a clicky sport, but there's groups of guys that want to play together. It's as simple as that. And ownership takes over. I'm not familiar with. I mean, it's great to see Arsenal back in the pro ranks, at least that name. I'm not familiar with the ownership up there, how that all works out. Same with NRG Elite.
Yeah.
No idea how all that stuff works and who's who up there. But like you said, it's a lot of change, a lot of turnover. He's got to have some turnover, obviously, with the blast can guys coming in, and FSU being the Tauntauns now, with Better Off and Martin, and basically the rest of the Tauntauns. Uh, so it's going to be interesting. It's a little bit harder to, I guess, watch tape of the teams from last year and do a little bit more studying, just because there's a lot of change. Turnover. I say turnover, just people kind of moving around all over the place,
Right.
and different mentality of ownership and coaching and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And the fact that, um, especially Impact. I know that Impact had a little rough season, but now since they got, I'm just gonna say it this way, they got the whole podcast crew of Play the Game on their team. Like, let's be real here. Those three guys are the Play the Game crew, and they got all of them on there. I'm like, oh lord, this is
Yeah,
gonna be good.
it's going to be those guys are. It's going to be great. I mean, look, I don't want to say it's. We've seen this. If they can all put it together on the field, they're going to be a top team. I mean, it's as
Without a
simple
doubt.
as that.
Without a
If
doubt.
they can put it all on the field, I mean, that's doesn't mean that you put 8 superstars on the team and they may not click together. So I'm not saying we've seen that in the past
Mm-hmm.
with other teams. But again, those guys are pretty close. So I don't see much of an issue there. That's gonna happen. But again, you just never know. But Parks putting the pieces together up there to try to win championships, and can't blame them.
Yeah, without a doubt. But like, how do you feel about this? How you feel about the leverage? And even though I don't believe that the Sea Dogs should have been in the pro, I feel like they should have stayed semi-pro. But how do you feel like that leverage and the Sea Dogs are now pro?
I love it. It's good to have the fresh blood in the in the game. I mean, look at Fit. I mean, they are fresh blood last year, and they won cup. I mean, you can't discount those guys. If leverage. I watched me and Matt actually walked over the semi pro field Friday or Saturday, I think it was, at Cup, and talked to a few people that we saw over there, in the industry and stuff like that, and we actually watched one of Leverage matches while we were there, and the guys look good. They got potential. They probably will belong. They'll probably will surprise a few teams. They're not going to be a. I don't think. I don't think. I mean, same thing with the Sea Dogs. I don't think they're going to be a rollover team. I think you take any of those top semi-pro teams and put them in the pro ranks,
Mm-hmm.
be able to hold their own. And maybe a little slap in the face initially, a little different change of speed, I guess, and moves and mentality, or I say mentality, more mental, um, in different circumstances on the field. We'll see. But I mean, again, you look at Fit's a prime example. I don't want to give those guys too much glory, but they did it right. I mean, they play together all the time. They have a great facility. They have great backing. They got great fans. They do great in semi-pro. Came up to the pro ranks, and I think they were AC at one point, back down, uh, and then back up. I mean, and then they did unstoppable in semi-pro, 2 years ago, and then this past year they got beat up a little bit, but kept their foot on the gas and go win the cup.
Yeah.
Um, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the new blood in. Honestly, I think it's good. I really think instead of a one-team relegation, I think it probably could be a two-team relegation.
Mm-hmm.
And that way it's more kind of flipping around the ranks, but the way things are, I don't want to say it's an expensive sport to be in.
Oh yeah, without a
Very
doubt.
a pro spot, and to go through a whole season in the pro spot is ain't cheap. So some of these lower tier teams are spending a lot of money and not being very successful. That's why you see you know, I don't want to say, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure what Blast Game finished at, but I don't know, it wasn't bottom two, I don't think. NYX getting relegated and then they're back in. So
Yeah, I didn't like that. I'm gonna be real with you. I did not like
yeah,
that at one bit because it, you know, it's kind of like it leaves a sour taste in my mouth because it's kind of like, so you were just gonna buy someone's spot, keep your pro, but other semi-pro teams who could have been a pro that actually worked their ass off, like Wrecking Crew.
mm-hmm.
The 2025 could be Wrecking Crew's like spot to be in a pro because they were playing really consistently. Their gameplay was spot on, and they were hungry. They were working as hard as they can, and
Yeah.
it still leaves a sour taste in my mouth because of the fact that it's kind of like a slap in the face. Because the New York Extreme, I mean, it's not the player's fault or anything like that, but just no, just like you can't buy someone's spot, and that's kind of ruins the whole point of going to pro. Yeah,
Well,
work.
look, if they don't buy the pro spot, then we're looking at 17 teams in the pro division, the 20.
Yeah.
And that's and look, and I agree with you. I mean, you lose your spot, back down to semi pro, you got to earn your spot back up.
Mm-hmm.
However, it comes back to a business. I don't want to say a business decision, but again, expensive sport to be in. Not everybody's going to be able to stick around for 15, 20 years like some of the organizations are. So it's going to happen. I mean, that's going to happen. It's one of the unique things about paintball. It's not like it's the NFL or baseball or hockey. When that, but it's those 32 NFL teams are 32 NFL teams. I mean that's it. Um,
Thank God it's not
Paintball,
gonna be like the NFL. God, thank God.
right? Paintball is different. So I mean, it's something unique in the sport that it keeps it interesting. It'll be good to see those guys in the ranks. Seeing what the new NYX is, Arsenal, NRG Elite coming back. Having the Sea Dogs, having leverage as well. It'll be a good season. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't care who's on the other side of the field who we're playing against. I'm trying to leverage my guys into the right positions, the right plays. Kind of based not based on what the other team's doing, but on what we want to do. So
Right.
I'm excited. I'm excited either way. I don't care who's down there. We could be Tip and Effect back down there. I don't care. But I'm looking forward to those guys, being in there and seeing what they can do.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this. Like I said, 2025 is going to be an interesting season for sure, and especially since now we're going to have co-coaching and, like I said, bringing the new blood into the Canes, um, as well as I think that you and Matt are going to bring so much potential out of the guys, and um, and I know that Drew Bankston is gonna give you much love, care.
I love Drew. I can tell you that.
Yeah, because the fact that his cooking always brings up those spirits. Can't argue
He
with that.
always want him to have some delicious food. That's for sure. And, I mean, he's great to let it be out there and always cooking. We need the back room for anything. Like after the tryout the other day, we had I want to say almost a 2 hour meeting in the back shop in between the two shops. Patio furniture. We just went chilling out. You know, always offering us food, drinks. You name it. He's out there shaking hands. Smiling. Basically just like one of the guys. You can't go wrong with Drew out there at LAX at all. And of course, anytime we have team coming into practice against, he's making sure he's grilling enough for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that's one of the great things about having him and facility open to us to use, and as well as trying to get teams here to practice against us.
As well, make sure you get him to rap again. I'm sorry, I had to. If you get him the rap again, please send me a video. I just love it.
I'll see what I can work out for you.
But no. So, are you still a player though? Are you like are you just retired like from playing?
I no, yeah, I haven't played in probably a year and a half. I want to say I try to, me and Matt have always talked about trying to play again. It's just the work, the work I'd have to put in
Mm-hmm.
to play again is just not enough time. I mean, my family is number one on my list. Right, and then obviously got to put this roof over my head. So profession is number two, and then paintball is right there. Friends. I consider all those guys family on the team. Matt's probably my best friend. So we've talked about trying to play more. Matt was actually out there. I want to say about a month ago playing. And I went out there just kind of messing around. I almost played him in some one on ones, but I didn't want to take his glory away from him. But one of these days we'll start playing some one on ones and stuff like that. And I'll get my beak wet every now and then and get out there and play a little bit. But I haven't played in probably a year and a half. Usually, before this past year, I probably played 2 or 3 times a year, just kind of messing around with the guys, going out there and doing some drills and stuff like that.
Right.
But my poor right knee is almost shot. So trying to snake and crawl down and kneel and everything like that now is a little bit more difficult. But that itch never goes away. I'll tell you that. That itch never goes away.
Oh, I agree 100%. My right knee is the same way, but that it's just like it's like you just want to scratch it, like you just like,
Yeah,
I
I
get
think
that
this is
feeling.
next. Yeah, this is the almost the next best thing. Being out there with the guys. I mean, again, I didn't have to be out there layout weekends and stuff like that for them, or go to Cup or go to Texas or any of those events. I want to be out there.
Right.
So this is the next best thing. You know, can't play, so I'm honored to have the call to coach and um, go back to kind of the roots of coaching and or coaching and how we kind of did it back in the day and again me and Matt did some did Coach Cup in 2019 I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
uh, wasn't wasn't great. I mean they had that stupid big ass wall in the center of the field. um, I think most of our matches were pretty damn close. um, but it just wasn't ideal, and we came in just for Cup, so we weren't you know real educated on the personnel and stuff like that. I guess would be a good thing to do. So we definitely lived and learned from Cup that year, and then of course watching the last few years, we're gonna make some changes. But yeah, I'm do have that itch every now and then to get out there and play. I got the boys. I got 2 boys, both 8 and 9. So trying to get them involved. I bring them out to the field. Usually when I can. They bring the gel blasters out there and go to town. And actually, I was playing some gel blasters with them yesterday in the front yard for about an hour and a half till we ran out of Orbeez. Um, getting them involved is going to be fun. I'll probably get out there a little bit more once they're can shoot the 68s, the regular paintballs instead of little paintballs. But I'll get out there a little bit more, get that itch going a little bit more, and see what happens. I told my wife that's a dangerous slope right there to get them involved in paintball because I've been there, done that. Thank God my parents were gracious enough to understand that soccer and baseball wasn't it for me back. I had to choose basically a sport and actually chose paintball, which was one of the great decisions I've made in my lifetime. I'll say that.
Yeah, I agree 100% because baseball, I'm in the same. I'm actually in the same boat as you. Like baseball and football was not my thing, and
Mm-hmm.
paintball, like that's my calling card. Like it's something I love to do, and
Yeah.
it's even though I'm not playing because currently I don't know if I'm on a team. I was there for the LA Extreme tryouts. I don't know if I'm on a team, but if I'm not, then that's fine with me because I got this podcast and I just like to play and just have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that's and back. I mean this is back in a long time ago, high school, junior high, high school, and I'm kind of dabbling in paintball.
Hmm.
Um, I was very successful at playing soccer. AAU Junior Olympics, gold medals, the whole 9 yards, select soccer, you name it, high school soccer. Um, but got burnt out, and when I say burnt out, I was playing soccer year round. A little bit of baseball sprinkled in there, and then kind of paintball came around, and I just knew it was a different animal. I mean, it was you can't find a better sport to go out there and shoot your best friends. You know, laugh about it and tell stories and stuff like that. It's I won't say it was like a drug, but it was a drug. And then the group of guys that like kind of drawn towards each other, are now family. I mean, it's you don't see that very often, and I didn't have that when I played soccer. Didn't have that when I played football. I mean, there's a couple of guys that you got along with and that were friends, but not you know 12, 14, 15 guys that were literally spending day and night with each other from Friday. You got out of school Friday to Sunday evening in high school, and then in college, shit, half of us lived together. Um, so it's a different. I don't know. It's a different animal. It really is, especially when we were younger than what it was for soccer and all these other organized sports. So it's a slippery slope with the boys, and me might dabbling a little bit and playing a little bit more, but having fun with them is the main thing, and then obviously coaching this year is number one.
And honestly, you're like, starting with the gel blaster, it's actually a great way for them to like, understand it.
But
And
yeah,
the fact that the gel blaster came out what 2022
like
was
yeah, 3 years ago I think it was
yeah
2 years ago, or
yeah
around there. Might be a
and
little bit older. And hit the scene good.
and it took off. Like it's
But
now at every single Walmart. I think Five Below actually sells the little canisters, little
yeah,
canister, and I'm like, holy crap! Like this
yeah,
the
it's great. It's great. Like we were literally running around the front yard. Cars are driving by. I'm not worried about them. Thing happening to the cars or anything like that, or the neighbor's car parked in the side. We're just running around the front yard, hiding behind trees. They got they made their own little bunkers and with folding chairs and a fence around the woods and a lot next door to me. I don't know where the hell they found that out, but they dug that out the woods.
hmm
So it's good to have that kind of exposure to paintball, and they want to play paintball. I'm actually supposed to set up a birthday party, for them sooner or later. Just trying to figure out a weekend to do it. I was supposed to actually be done back in September, I think it was. Then weather was an issue on one weekend that we were going to do it, and just getting them out there to do it is a must, and they want to do it too. So
there you
excited.
go. And there you go. I mean, but so all right. So the last we got like 10 minutes left. I will go ahead and answer any questions that you got for me. It could be any kind of questions.
Huh. Let's see. If you had to change one thing in the sport of paintball, what would it be?
If I had to change one thing,
Yeah, just one. If you had to change one thing, like what would it be?
the most okay, I think people are gonna think of me as a pet peeve. What I'm about to say, but this: stop taking the anger out of the ref. Like they're here to do their job, and if you think about it this way, the ref takes more impact than any of us does, because they're getting shot like I don't know how many times, maybe
It's not
there's no
being
number.
aggressive. I'll say that.
And the fact that and I say this and I state the statement because I know it was Diesel at World Cup who got in that ref's face. I can't remember what his name was. I think it was yeah, yeah. And it's like, dude, stop. Like, just stop. Like, you. Why are you getting pissed off at the ref? Okay,
Yeah,
he's doing his job. He's getting paid. Like, leave this kid alone. Just go cool off. But
Yeah,
it's always been happening like that, and I just like, really, guys, come on, like,
yeah. It's I mean, I don't want to say. I would agree though. I mean, I'm with you there. It's just paintball is a very emotional sport. I mean, it's wild, especially on Sundays. You're fighting for your life to get to the finals. I mean, in any time. I mean, it's just like that with any sport though. You're getting
yeah,
heated. Emotionally keep running high. What he did was not right, but I mean, you see that as well. I mean, I remember years ago. I think it was a 10-man event. I don't even know where we're at, Chicago maybe. Either way, um, a ref pulled one of us for a kid or something like that. He pulled like a 4-foot-1 on us, something crazy. And some of the guys were like, "Oh," and this was actually on Sunday. So in 10, you had to play 3 games, and then top guys go out to the out of your bracket. Anyways, they wanted to throw the next game just to shoot the ref. And I was like, "Are y'all nuts? Like, I can't believe you want to throw a game just to shoot a ref because he made a mistake and pulled 4 of us. Guys, let's just go out there and win, and then the other team may lose. And then what wound up happening? We wound up going out there, winning that next. The guys finally cooled down, but again, emotions are running hot. I mean, that's what happens in the sport. But we went out there and we actually played the game, won, and the other team that we needed to lose lost, and we made it to the final. But it happens, and it happens in a lot of sports. You see in football, college football. My son plays flag football. I've seen him get mad because he got flagged for guarding his flag. I'm like, Ross. I mean, it's so and these decisions got to be made by these refs so fast, and it's especially in paintball. I mean, it's literally milliseconds of timing that's going on that they got to make a decision on whether or not throw a penalty or whatever it may be. But yeah, I would agree, but I don't know if that's ever gonna
no, it's not
change.
gonna, it's
But
never gonna change.
yeah, I mean, that's the nature of the beast. I mean,
Yeah, it is the nature of the beast. It's just, to me, it's just like, come on, guys. Like,
yeah.
I know you can
All
get
right.
hit and everything, but if you get in the ref's face, you know, y'all don't understand. Like, if you get in the ref's face, he has every right to like take your gun away and to put you on the side. I mean, I know they did that with Infamous and like, yeah, I think it was Diesel. That whole overshooting that everybody's been talking about. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, like, we're adults here.
Yeah.
Okay. But if that doesn't get changed, the other thing that could be improved by paintball is that I guess, like, go back to where it was, when you were watching it, and you can see how many players they have left, like
Hmm.
the old school days. Um,
Yeah. Like on the webcast, on
yeah,
Ghost Sports.
like on Ghost Sports, like they did during. I know they did this during ESPN that time when they actually put the players up there and everything. I mean, we cannot read paintball. No one can it's not like football and everything. But to have that just a little detail to help the new players or new people who wants to get into the sport and understand it, um, it actually helps out a lot if they do something like that. Just a little bit more of that, and then I think, you know,
Yeah, trying to make it a little bit more
readable.
easy. Yeah, easy to watch, I guess. But I think they've been trying to figure that out for seems like decades now. And still ain't come up with an easy way to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it can be such a fast-paced sport, and someone not familiar with it trying to figure out where who's shooting at who is. Me and you could probably tell, but my wife probably can't tell, or kids probably can't tell, stuff like that. So trying to figure that out would be ideal. Would be a huge plus in the sport to make it more mainstream. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, we got that ESPN deal, but that was
Mhm.
like I think that was a one-time thing, and hopefully it's not. Hopefully that Tom and Hertz and all of them will come together in ESPN Ocho and be like, okay, since let's see if we can try to do it again.
All right. No, I hope so too. I hope that was just the beginning. Scratching the surface a little bit. Little maybe a little test and see what happens and make some changes and stuff like that. That'll hopefully occur. That's for sure. Maybe a little bit different venues. Huntington Beach was huge back in the day. I know that's how much money that cost, but that exposure just being at Huntington Beach was unbelievable. The amount of people that were there, and not obviously not paintball people. So it's trying to maybe figure that out. Again, paintball is not the cleanest sport in the world. To host at a beach or a nice park, or I know Tampa's going back to Raymond James Stadium, which was a pretty good venue. New Jersey, I think back at the same spot. I think Cup is still up in the air. They haven't named a location yet for Cup. So maybe that's being changed a little bit. Hopefully, remember it was at Wide World of Sports. That was pretty cool. That was when it was over there. They had some baseball teams and cheerleaders and all kinds of people walking around. Down there when we were down there. So hopefully, things are in the works. I know it's not easy. That's for sure. We do have or can have a bad look on us with paintball and being messy and kind of an alternative sport, I guess you want to look at it like that.
Right.
But we'll see. We will see.
Yeah. So, any more questions, guys? Come on, lay it on me.
Who's your favorite pro paintball player?
Oh. Well.
And it could be any. It could be past, present.
Oh.
Doesn't have to be now. It
Well,
could be whoever.
as a given, it's Oliver Lane. I mean, come on.
I would agree. I would agree. Don't ask my favorite. I got one of his jerseys though. So.
I don't. I would love to have something of Oliver Lane, like him signing it, or just me being the guy, because I actually, didn't get a chance to see him play, and it was kind of a bummer that I didn't get a chance to see Oliver Lane play or meet the guy. But I got a lot of his stuff from when he made Hormesis and everything. That's actually what I rock with, and but it, Oliver Lane, 100%. I got one.
Nice. I got one right. Yeah, they're guys over there. I'll say that. I love me some of the Dynasty guys. Alex has always been, one of my favorites ever since Mardi Gras opened a long time ago when we swam in the poo pond for some jerseys at the Lario Center. Ever since then, we've been, I've always, liked a couple of those guys. That's for sure. So.
Yeah.
Surprise you, Ritual.
I'm
joking.
I mean, I love my boys. Don't get me wrong. I love the Hurricanes. I do, but it's just
That's why I ask the hard questions. See, I'm a no nonsense guy. I'll ask the hard questions. It's okay with the hard questions.
Yeah, I have no problem. It's like put me on the spot. I don't mind. I like it when someone puts me on the spot.
Yeah, look, it's if you can't perform under the spot, this isn't or life is not maybe made for you. You got to toughen up a little bit. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it's just I was just like people putting me on the spot. I mean, it's just like okay, this is interesting.
Yeah. But, yeah. No. Oliver's. I was actually watching on YouTube. I don't know. I was scrolling through past events on Go Sports, and one of the recommended things came up when he was on Ironman at Cup. I think playing. I won't say it was Infamous, not 100% sure, but I watched that match back in old school, halftime, 15-minute halves and penalty boxes, stuff like that. I was watching, one of those matches with funny that Robert Oliver that just watched. I think it was yesterday actually. I watched it for a little while, but yeah, old school X-ball was glorious. That's for sure with the penalty boxes. I do miss those.
I do too. I watch old school. I like to watch old school paintball like every now and then. Like if I see a good match or like especially if it's like like really old school and you just
like Dirter, 20 those guys
like that or who was it
13 Go was another one. Oh, not 1320, 720, and there was another one.
Yeah. XG, I think it was XGV, was it? Or X, I can't remember what they were called. It was Thomas Taylor played for them. Um, I can't remember. I know they did a documentary on Monkey with a Gun. Um,
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember what it. I think it was X. I gotta watch it again. I mean, but I like
Yeah.
to watch old school paintball,
Hmm.
especially when you see that like you go from now and then back then. It's like holy crap! Like we have it made. Like we have
Yep.
it made.
Yep.
And that's what people don't understand. Like, huh, they want to go back to the 15 balls per second. I'm like, okay, you want to go back to 15 balls per second? That's fine with me. But understand this: you don't have to worry about like autococker, like the actual old school autococker. Make sure the little
Mhm.
everything's working properly, or the
Right.
egg head, the eggs.
Oh, the old eggs. Yeah, I used to love those old school Halos. I still love me an old school Halo. Sure. Um, but yeah, the eggs or the Revies, and when Halo came out was a game changer.
And then,
But
and then the OG Mini, that
oh
literally changed everything.
yeah,
But
oh yeah.
any more questions, bud?
I think that's it. I think that's it. I don't have anything. At least not off the top of my head yet.
Hey, I mean, I give people the chance. I give the people the chance to like put me on the spot because, you know, it's that's what I love to do. Like I love doing podcasting and I love paintball. I mean, that's why I made this.
You can't go wrong there. That's why I'm in the boat where I'm at now. So I love paintball. I love helping the guys, and what better way to help out than answer the call to go try to push them over the line.
Is this? By the way, I want to know this. Is this the first podcast you got on here?
Yes, yeah. You were my first podcast.
Yes.
You were definitely podcast.
Well, if Mike Bianca and and Marcellus put you on the podcast, well, just let them know who your first one was.
Oh, don't worry. I'll let him know. I definitely. Naga asked me on the coaches show. I'll make sure he's well aware
Oh, they
that.
are. They're both aware. I have them on Facebook, so if they don't know, I'll be like this. Put me on.
Yeah, no. Love. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have the opportunity. I've always got along great with Bianca, and very good guy. I have no quarrels with him at all. So we see eye to eye on a lot of things, and maybe not eye to eye on some, but a lot. And very good guy, and obviously been with the team for 4 years, very highly respected. Actually, he called me about the decision to go to Dynasty and one of my thoughts, and shit. I was like, man, I don't even know why you're calling me. I mean, honestly, that's a great opportunity. I don't if those guys call you up. I don't understand why anybody he's man enough to call every single person and talk to us, ask us about our, get our kind of a blessing and our thoughts behind it. And I think all of us were, you know, very, very proud of him. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm still am to this day, and like it's gonna. I mean, he's not moving to California. He said that he is not moving to
Yeah.
California. Thank God he's not moving to California. Because if he's going to California and moving there and coming back as a beach boy, we're gonna have problems. We're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
But like, no.
He won't be going. He loves his Alabama Southern life. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, Southern boy all the way. Like I have no problem with Beach Boys, but it's just when they come back to it, the Southern, it's like, oh, that's a big like.
Yeah, man, I don't even know. I think majority of the guys that are on Dynasty now aren't even in California. At least not. I don't think they are. I might be wrong on that, but
I think some of them are. I think some, but I don't think
yeah,
a lot.
three Yosh, Ryan. I'm not. I'm not even sure. Maybe Kyle Berry's moving out there. I'm not 100% sure. But either way. But yeah, if I ever get on one of those, don't worry. They'll be aware that you weren't the first ones. So
Hey, thank you. We're gonna go ahead and call it off a day because I know it's New Year's and you got kids.
yes,
You want to spend time with your kids before they go back to school.
yeah, Yeah, it's been hectic. I'm glad we had a late night last night, so they slept in pretty well and then still pretty tired. So can't complain right now.
But I want to thank to you, Justin, for showing up on the Paintball Lounge, as well as I want to thank everybody who's watching it. Please subscribe to the channel, as well as keep up with the Hurricanes and hope them the best of luck because they're gonna need it. And let's go Canes. Let's make it to Sunday Paintball and winning an event.
That's the goals, man. That is the goals. I really do appreciate you having me and us on here, and keep up the good fight over there.
I will.